on, go!
Whee!
And it's Friday night, guys, and here we are again for the last show of the week, talking about different types of hauntings.
I'm ready for the bear.
How is everyone? Happy Friday, happy Friday. And finally, we see Mr. Spookanori. Mr. Spookanori, how have you been?
Good Abend.
Not that.
Sorry, hang on. Sorry about that. Good evening. Sorry, I had my translation fishing.
I was beginning to worry. You had went off and left me.
No, I've just been very busy. I've just been very, very busy. Parents came over from Corfu to visit.
Oh, how did that go?
It went better than I expected. There's still loads of moans and groans, but it was all right. And we had another Christmas day. Well, I say another Christmas day, our first Christmas day.
So you're going to have 2 birthdays this year. You have 2 Christmases as well.
Yeah. We had to because my oldest son Ethan, he asked if they were coming over for Christmas, but there are no direct flights from Corfu to England.
No.
And the only way they can get to here is by going to Athens first, then sit around for 5 hours, and then fly back to here.
That's crackers, that, isn't it?
So it worked out to be something like a 10 or 11 hour flight or journey. And my mum can't do that. So they said, right, well, what we do then is we'll catch a flight direct back to the UK from Corfu, and then we'll catch the last plane that goes back to Corfu on the 18th of November. So they literally got on the very last plane that will fly out of Corfu to come back to England direct. And that was it. So
that's a really long way for coming, really, for Greece.
It is. I mean, it's Athens is about 3.5, 4 hour flight.
Ouch.
But from Corfu to Athens, I think it's only about an hour. But it's the layover time in between.
Yeah.
So the next available flight for them would have been 5 hours after they landed from Corfu. So they'd had to sit around in the airport for 5 hours waiting for a plane. And then they'd got a longer flight, obviously, to come back here, where it's only 3 to 3.5 hours direct.
Yeah, I know, I get that, definitely.
So, and it's better than what they used to do because they used to drive.
Really?
The last time they came over, well, when they came over at Easter, they drove here.
Oh my God.
And that literally meant catching a ferry from Corfu town. The ferry then went all the way up to sort of northern Italy. Then they drove through Italy, through the Alps into France, and then straight through France to the tunnel, and then up.
That's one hell of a journey.
That is
They do it in 3 days. They take their time.
That's good. Yeah.
They used to bring the dog with them, so they used to stop at pet friendly hotels and stop on the way, take their time.
Oh, Mr. Manley!
Every now and then they'd take a different route.
Yeah.
So they've been and gone through Germany and Austria and gone round that way. They've gone through Albania and the mainland route. So they've just caught the ferry from Corfu to mainland Greece and then driven up through Albania and then through the top. But obviously it's a lot quicker, and now they're getting older. They've said, that's it, we'll fly now.
Yeah,
no wonder. So tonight, guys, we are talking about all different kinds of hauntings. I picked this one because I think so many people get so confused by what kind of hauntings that they get. Hi, Mark.
Hi,
I don't
Mark.
know how many Bonjour.
Mark.
Hola.
I may as well.
Good night.
Pnauta.
It's like can you hear this? See if he puts another hi in that chat.
Hi,
Noreen.
Hi, Noreen, baby. I thought for a minute you were Mark there. I was going to say in a different language. I do think a lot of people do get confused with different hauntings. Oh dear, who was that? Was everything all right?
Harvey lost his phone.
All
He's
right,
got
I
his
thought
phone now.
somebody was actually being sick there.
No.
I was like, oh, about to have a heart attack there. Like, obviously, you get all different types. Like, I've experienced like a right. I've got to look at away for Lynn when I say this, right? Because I've made the same mistake as Lynn. I think it was Lynn. Lynn, was it you that said it was a resident haunting? No, it was Mary. Mary was so nervous when she spoke to Brian J. Kano. She said it was a resident haunting instead of
Residual.
residual haunting. I have it picked up on residual before. When I was in my first ever investigation, and I picked up this wee girl that was about. Oh, here's Nick.
No.
Nicky boy, how are you, my love?
The Mothman didn't get you.
Yeah, I got away.
You got away. You got away. So in my first ever investigation, I picked up this one, and it was a wee girl,
Oh, give me a second.
say about 5, 6 year old, with long brown hair, and I didn't realise that I had picked her up as residue haunting. I asked what it was, and I got told it was an imprint of past emotions or events that repeats in a non-interactive loop, like a broken record. So it's almost like, just going over repetitive, basically.
Yeah. The residual haunting can also be classed as stone tape theory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
say stone tape theory, yeah.
I agree with you, Wayne. Totally.
That is the prime example, and the way I describe it to people is like a videotape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when we had VCRs, you used to, and you wanted to record EastEnders or something, you put the cassette in, it recorded the show, and then you watch it back another time.
Yep.
And this is the similar thing. The energy has picked up an incident or an emotion or something that's happened that's been sort of heightened by the amount of energy in the area at the time, and then it's just played it back at another time when the energy is built up again. Yeah. So although they are identical, both of them are the same thing. It's just a different meaning and a different way of announcing it rather than
you're right. You're
residual.
Right. We've got one of them. Well, I've seen a few of them, but we've got a good example where I live in North Wales. So we've got this old Tudor. No, it's not Tudor. It's Jacobean mansion called Plasteg, and when that was built in 1662. So it went to the Trevor family owned that. In fact, they had Judge Jeffreys that used to go. He was related to them actually, and he used to do some court rulings there. Hang a few people in one of the rooms, and dangle them into the cellar. Then they put them onto these slabs, and the family had a week to pick them up. If they didn't pick them up, they used to get buried out in the ground, just throw them out in the ground in a hole. Yeah. So one of the Trevors down the lines, his daughter got very friendly with one of the local farm hands, and she was told by her father not to go near him because he was out of her class. She couldn't go near him. So she used to meet up secretly, and then he banned her altogether. So they decided, it's a bit like Romeo and Juliet in a way, right? So it was all farmland with just little tracks everywhere. So at the bottom now, there's a main road. So it's the main road from Mould up through to Wrexham, that area. So what happened was they plotted and planned to run away together. So she was supposed to meet him the next day under their tree where they used to do the courting in one of his parents' fields. And the father found out, but she stole a load of jewels and that so she could have money to be able to live with this boyfriend. And she hid it in the grounds because she was going to go back and get it. But he found out and he threw her down the well. The well's still there, right? You wouldn't know it was a well, but it's there. And she died. They never found the jewels that we know of, so that's still there. But the boyfriend waited under this tree, and he was so upset when he found out that she died, he hung himself. So every now and again, bus drivers, cars, people going up and down that road see a woman in white running across the road, and the bus drivers and people have actually hit her, or they think they have. They've stopped, they've checked under the cars, the buses. I know people it's happened to, bus drivers, and she's not anywhere to be seen. But it's a repeat. So it's like on rewind and repeat. It's like that's what you call a proper ghost. It's on like the stone tape theory. It's a repeat. Yes. And it's just going through some traumatic thing that happened, and it's stuck there in that ether. But it only comes now and again. It's like you can get that with cars or anything, or you see the car going down, it smashes up. Lots of things like that happen. But I totally agree with you, Wayne. That is absolutely spot on.
Yeah, this is like one of those classic, like the way I told that story. It's one of the classic examples of like involving a forbidden love affair, and also the ghost story associated with it. That's almost as another example of the so-called, I mean, not necessarily, but kind of like the so-called vanishing hitchhiker stories where they always appear again and again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the same as murder victims. Same as murder victims appearing at the scenes over and over again. It's the same as that. You get them also in battlefields.
Well, yeah, because of the amount of energy in association with what's going on in the area at the time. There's a lot of emotion, and the energy would be pretty high.
Yeah,
and that's and again, that's where the big difference is between an intelligent haunting and a residual haunting. Because you can try to interact with a residual haunting, you'll get nowhere.
No.
Yeah.
It will be almost as if you're not there, and that's where the playback comes in.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't recognize you, it doesn't look at you, it doesn't respond to your questions, but you can see or hear it.
It's like basically you're seeing it's not even almost like an actual entity. In a way, it's like just briefly, we're seeing a video of the past, how it all kind of reenacted. We're seeing exactly like a time break, almost like we're seeing something that actually occurred. And it's like you said, Wayne, it's like on a tape. It's like someone hit rewind on it several times and played it again.
And
it's a replay of history, isn't it?
And also, when you look at it, is when you watch these programs about real ghost hauntings and things like that, where people say, "Oh, they saw the spirit walk through the wall."
Yeah.
And we've got a prime one here in Colchester, being Britain's first city and Britain's oldest recorded town. We've got Colchester Castle, which is where Queen Boudica ransacked Colchester and literally just leveled the castle to the ground.
She's amazing.
But when you come forward through time, you get to the siege of Colchester, where you had the Cavaliers and Roundheads.
Yeah.
And George Lucas and Sir Charles Lyell were taken to Colchester Castle and imprisoned, where they were literally judged and executed round the back of the castle.
Wow.
And thousands of people have seen a cavalier walk through the top of the castle grounds and out through a wall at the back of the castle.
Yeah.
Which was originally a doorway where George Lucas and Charles Lyell were taken out of the castle, down to the back, and executed by firing squad. And everybody sees it the same place. But the thing was, a lot of people haven't heard the story, and there's a ghost tour in Colchester where the guy actually talks about the ghosts of the castle.
Yeah.
And there is a spot round the back of the castle where the two of them were executed, the grass stopped growing.
Whoa.
And over the years since, they tried to replace the grass. They put new turf in. They then eventually put seeds down. Still nothing would grow on the spot. So in the end, they put a path through it and put a monument to the pair of them on the spot where they died.
That's amazing now.
But they still see the cavalier walk through the castle, and that again is residual haunting, because no one can interact with it. It just totally ignores everybody. The curators are going, "Excuse me, what are you doing in here?" And it just totally blanks them and walks straight out the back of the wall.
It's like that to me when I think about that actual. It's just going through and just going through and just. It's almost like they walk straight through you, through a wall. It's like having an old-fashioned film playing on the wall, so all that light's going through and that action's going on, and you're walking through that, but that's also going through you. It's like watching an old film being played out on the wall. Yeah,
that's
a great story, Wayne.
Yeah, it really is. I could think of something similar like that, so where I saw a full body apparition down located at the Mineral Springs Hotel, located down in Alton, Illinois, which is regarded as one of the most haunted small towns in America, and indeed it is, no doubt. It's a great town. If you guys ever come out over here and get the opportunity, you got to check out Alton. Like every corner of that town is haunted, but there was about 6 years ago, we did an investigation at the Mineral Springs Hotel. In spite of its name, it no longer operates as an actual hotel, but you can still get access and do investigations there. And we were actually up on the top floor of the hotel. We actually had Mike Ricksecker with us. He was running the event. He was doing a Haunted Road Media Con during that time. Now, I will say, yes, this can't cause hallucination. It was freaking hot because it was the middle of June that we did this. There was no air conditioning in this place, so it was bad. But when everyone could see the same thing that I saw, that kind of makes you wonder, think, okay, I think we actually saw an actual apparition. We were on the top floor. Flashlights were turned off. It's just like something told us to turn off the lights. So we did that, and we knew we saw the same entity, but we all saw it manifest in a different way. What I saw was first saw what looked like little shoes developing, and then it started like working its way up. I start seeing a skirt, and before you know it, I start seeing the shape of like what looks like a child's torso. And before you know it, all of us are seeing what appears to be the spirit of a little girl who she's got to be she only had to have been between the ages of 6 and 8 years old. But what was odd was, again, kind of like what you guys were just describing a minute or so ago, was, yes, in a way, this particular entity that we saw was interacting with us, but it still kind of had that old film kind of look to it. Like you could see that her clothes were obviously turn of the century. Looked like they were probably around the early 1900s or 1910s. But she just kind of had like that kind of black and white look to her. Almost, it really looked like we were watching something out of a silent movie. Like
Yeah.
it was,
Good
and
description.
there was no sound. There was no sound associated with her either. So it was almost like as if someone just cut out a part of a silent movie from that era and copied and pasted it, like photoshopped it right in front of us. And now, like I said, I saw her manifest from the feet up, but my friend Tom McNicholas, who goes on a lot of these road trips, he described it manifesting from the face down. So that's probably the best example of where you kind of have almost like that film-like quality to some of these spirit, these visitations of ghosts, if you will. Now, no two encounters and sightings are the same, but it is something that is probably a primary example or a classic example of that, having kind of like that old film reel, if you will, to some of these entities.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the other ones that you can have. You can have intelligent hauntings as well. And, I think they're brilliant, intelligent hauntings. People don't like intelligent hauntings, though. You've got obviously moving objects, making sound, manifesting as full-bodied apparitions. You know, communicating through Ouija boards. Have you guys ever experienced an intelligent haunting?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. It was at where was it? What am I think? Forgot the name of the place now. It was in Cannock. There's a pub in Cannock. They don't know it. Russ Bevan's been there before.
Oh, the four crosses.
Four Crosses, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a very intelligent one there. In fact, it's probably, I'd class that. I wouldn't go back there now because I've had the best night of my life there, paranormal wise. So I don't go back because I don't think that anything after that has surpassed it. So I haven't been back, but I won't know if anything can surpass it because I haven't been back. So it's my own fault.
Yeah.
But we were upstairs in the attic room and we were suddenly plagued by flies. And then when we were talking about these flies, we all heard this psst. Thought, what the hell was that? Then I'd got the K2 meters on the radiator. They were going up to red. Put it up on the mirror, that was going up to red. Went round in the room next door, put it in the same place, they never even flickered. So I brought them back in, put them against the mirror, they went back up to red again. And I got into the bathroom and they're going up to red. And we were like, can you smell fly spray? It was like sniffing Raid. The fly spray, Raid.
Yeah.
It was like you could smell that. And it was like, ugh. So we're looking around in there, we couldn't find this bottle of fly spray. And then once we got all through the shampoo bottles that were in the bathroom, there was this little bottle of Raid right at the back on the shampoo bottle. Pulled the top off, and it smelled as though it had just been freshly sprayed. And so we put the top back on and put the can back, went into the room, and one of the guys that was with us had trod on this fly and scraped it back under his foot so you could see like a blood smudge. And I looked under the bed and it was absolutely steaming with flies. The whole bottom of the bed was buzzing with flies. So we went to do a changeover from team leaders to different team. And I said to the guy who was going back up, I said, just watch out for the flies when you go up there. I said, because there's a hell of a lot of them. So we went down into our bit and we had went on the big Ouija board. It's like carved into the table. I think it's gone down into the cellar now. But this thing was solid oak. I wouldn't be able to lift it up in the air or anything like that. But we got this Ouija board and it's shaking. And then one of the guys says, "Go on, then. If you're that clever, throw a glass at me," because you're using a glass for the divination. And the table just upended, and the glass shot towards him. So he caught the glass, put it back on the table, and he says, "Right, can you send it the other way?" He went straight up in the air, straight down the other side. Caught the glass. So we took the glass away from it, thinking this is going to cause an accident. And this table was going up, down, left, right. It was going all over the place. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Well, do you know something, Richard? See people who do that they're only asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But we've got these other people there. This is good. This is what I've seen this in the movies, sort of thing. And I'm like, you're not in a movie. This is real life. You're not in a movie.
When you have somebody, when you have people out there doing that, they're saying that they're doing this for good or whatever the case is, it doesn't even matter. If you have anyone that does anything like that, they're obviously then doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had intelligent responses. I had one when I went to Barony Castle, was my intelligent response, and me and the spirit were going back and forth, and the questions, and I was getting straight answers, and it was a good back and forth for a good wee while, and it was, and I thought, I'm really impressed at him, and it was a good back and forth, and I like when they do answer you, and I like when, see when the laser go out, like any trigger objects, like either the laser grid or or just anything that's trigger object wise, and they go up and they start moving it about. Even what I did with Rigger, when I worked with Rigger, me and Rigger were out on investigation, and we did the acid method. And I was obviously headphones on, blindfolded. Rigger always writes a number down, and he'll say, "Spirit, what number have I written down?" That night, I didn't say the number, but I did the sum that equaled the number on the bit of the paper. He'd wrote 16, and I had said 8 plus 4 plus 4. He says, "But you still got 16. He says, "Aye, but I wanted the number 16 to come out your mouth, not 8 plus 4 plus 4. I said, "But you still got 16.
Yeah, but you got to think of it like this, right? You get, so it makes me laugh because I love all this stuff, right? But when you get spirit, I've watched people on boards. I go on now and again, not very often, but I've watched people on boards, right? And they're coming out with all this stuff, and afterwards, so don't make any sense because the person is that far in the past they can't read or write. So
that's it, yeah.
You're just getting stupid letters because they can't read or write, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, even Cal Cooper will say the Estes method. You can't rely on the Estes method as evidence,
right?
Because the majority of people use the SB7 or a spirit box, and the problem with that is it goes by radio frequencies.
Yeah.
So it will automatically scan through the FM frequency and pick up any local radio station. And shortly after, it was about a week after Cal had said this, that I was on an investigation and every word that came out was in a song title. And I went, he has just come out with a suggestion and this has proved it. Angels was said.
Yeah.
And I went, right, if it comes back round, when it comes back round again in the sweep on the SB7, what word will come out when it gets to such and such. So the guy that was leading the team was looking over the shoulder on the SB7, and it got to 96.1, which is a local wavelength. It's the local band, the radio station. And it was literally said instead.
Yeah.
Which is the last line of Robbie Williams's Angels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, well, just prove the point here that the radio waves will play you radio stations. So unless you've got an exact knowledge of the location throughout the night, when you use the Estes method, it's not going to mean anything. And I said, if you're going to do the Estes method, use just plain white noise. Because then if anything does come through, you know it's not anything to do with a radio broadcast.
Yeah.
Because you're not on you're not within that wavelength.
Right.
I learned a big lesson with that, Wayne, right, many years ago. You've made me laugh, I've honest to God. Many years ago. Many years ago, when I first started doing all this stuff and going out, I bought my first set of walkie-talkies, right? And I was in Stanley Palace in Chester. So I'd give these walkie-talkies out, and they all had that wave. And we're in the room, and this girl had it, and it come out. It come over, and it said, "On my way." She went, "Oh my God, it's on me!" It was the taxis.
And there's a lesson to be learnt there. Put earphones onto the walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. We've got 4 walkies that we use on our events.
Yeah.
And they're all connected with earphones so that nobody else can hear it go off.
Yeah.
But it is funny when that happens. It is funny when that happens. We've had it so many times.
I'm with you on that, Wayne. I have to be honest, I have walkie-talkies myself, but it's a much larger number. I'm not even joking. I have literally I haven't even used them really for quite a long time, but it was probably about 10 to a dozen walkie-talkies.
Why the hell do you need 10 to a dozen walkie-talkies?
Well, I got them several years ago on a really good deal on Amazon. So I didn't know if our group would eventually at that time would have gotten bigger then. So I'm thinking, hey, you can never be too sure. It better be safe than sorry than to have a whole bunch of them. But
I started off with 4.
Yeah.
And we did an event, and 3 of them disappeared. So I went, I'll have to go and buy some more. They're fairly cheap on Amazon. So I brought another 4, and about 2 weeks later, I found the missing 3.
Yeah.
So I ended up with 8.
Yeah. See, what did I tell you?
Do you know what? What we used to do when we first got these years ago, and we never had very good phones then. The phones were rubbish, And when we went out anywhere on a ghost hunt, we all went on in the cars. So we all kept in contact with each other using the walkie-talkies with the cars in the back and the cars in the front.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I'm just going past
it now.
Do you know what? I would take Nick's walkie-talkies to the Waverley Sanatorium because that would be enough. That would be enough to investigate.
For such a large location, absolutely.
Yep, that would be ideal for the Waverley Sanatorium, definitely.
I have thought actually of doing an event next year, which is not literally per se a serious investigation, it's just for fun. And I have thought about putting walkie-talkies in areas on the location, but people, like in a pipe or something, so that people can't see them. And then when people go in there to do the investigation, start talking through the I'm watching you.
I can see you.
See, that's a good thing about you, Ben, because you could do all different voices. So I can imagine you pulling all that off.
Well, I do try sometimes.
Yeah, but I can imagine you doing that voice saying, don't be stealing my pumpkins.
Keep away from my pumpkins.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Hysterical.
But I mean, all the equipment and stuff, and like you say, with like the video cameras and everything else, they're all great. But when you've got an intelligent haunting, you know, I think a lot of the time it's that personal experience that provides more. Because when you look at it, you think to yourself, well, I really love the paranormal. I really love to experience something. And regardless of whether you're with a group of 30 people or you're out on your own, even if something does happen, that sort of just sets the adrenaline off. Regardless of who's with you, you're like, oh my God, I just experienced that. You don't worry about the other 25 people that have seen it. You have seen it, and that's what you strive to get.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bang.
Just like what I said about the little girl that we saw. Others want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we look at it and we go, wow, this is what we've been aiming to go for. We go out at weekends. We go out in the freezing cold. We go to these places, pitch black, go with a torch, camera, whatever devices we want to use, whatever instruments, and we go out looking for these things.
Yes.
To see whether they do exist and to find any answers. And okay, we might get ostracized for it. People might make fun of us. But what do? They might go to the football every Saturday and Sunday, or they sit at home doing crosswords, or just watching EastEnders day in, day out. You know, it's something that we enjoy doing.
It's whatever floats your boat, Wayne.
Exactly.
You also have to remember too that although us as a paranormal community world, has grown truly worldwide. I mean, like you guys know all too well, I've made connections with people or investigators in countries we would never think twice originally that they would ever have any, but either they've just gotten started in it, or if they're not even investigators at all, but just have the interest in it. That just goes to show how far we've grown. And you guys know all this. You guys also know this too well. I also have, again, probably what I would consider the closest to like a true paranormal memorial for all of our investigators who have passed, not only just recently, like throughout this year, but in over the last 250 years. Because, like, I don't even know if I've even gotten that far yet. I'm still constantly searching to see really how far we go back. And as I probably explained before, the earliest investigator person that I found that I would probably say would be almost like a paranormal ancestor, if you will, although he was obviously a spiritualist, was, I forgot his name, but he was from Sweden. And his life, when he was doing this, that goes all the way back to the mid 1700s. So it goes, well over, actually, probably almost 300 years now. Now I think about it. So that's as far as like either the paranormal or spiritualist or whatever. So far, that's as far as I've gone, as far as paranormal history is concerned.
Technically, it goes back a lot further.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. That's why that's as far as I've gone, but I'd like to try to even go even further back.
Well,
I'm surprised that our Nick's not got a personal plane. It drives every day around the world trying to see what countries he's not.
But the thing is, if you were to look at scriptures, there are witnesses to paranormal events.
Yes.
So you look in the Bible, the Emerald tablets, any holy scripture that there is out there would have been witnesses to miracles or something paranormal happening, and it's been put down on paper.
Yes, it has.
So really, if you go back through history is full of paranormal happenings. It's just how the people have perceived it at the time.
Yeah.
And when you look at the Bible, and they all say angels and demons, and the angel came down and said this and blah, blah, blah. They've had a paranormal experience, and this has been written down. It's how the people perceive it as to whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
is another case altogether. It's like we said the other day about Wednesday about the fairy tales.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how they change over the years.
Okay.
It's it's one of those situations you've got where it's there in black and white, but it's down to the individual whether they want to believe it or not. But it's been documented all through history of strange things happening. Look at UFOs. Again, it's part of the paranormal, but you look at cave paintings that are tens of thousands of years old, and there it is on the wall.
There it is, yeah. It's also like people say, oh, there's no such thing as ghosts or spirits and that. There's the ones who are on the internet. So they've got all these radio waves coming. They can't see them, but they know it's there.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Well, you know, I also recall too that, like, just to throw in some primary examples, in fact, two of them are quite similar to one another. They were just a century apart. Is not even just your typical human spirits, but also with animal spirits, like the well-known hellhound, or I know, of course, in the UK it's called Black Shot. And there is that famous story that occurred back in 1577 of a violent storm that occurred, during a session. I think it was in the UK. It was somewhere out in Europe. I can't remember, but it was a violent storm occurred, and no, I haven't yet, Kate. I'll get to that shortly. But there was a violent storm, and then all of a sudden, a strange, spectral black dog showed up in the church, and it actually left 3 people dead. It didn't really attack them, but I guess, because I heard the typical legend, if you see a hellhound or a black shuck 3 times, you'll meet an untimely death. And as a result, 3 people died. I think there was even a fire that occurred. And then a similar case, which I think occurred over here, occurred almost 100 years later in 1638, where you had basically like a ball of light that went through, again, another church that I don't think killed anybody this time, but this time caused a lot of destruction to the church. Now, by modern day standards, we believe that may have been actually a example of the so-called wall. But at that time, especially, people truly thought it was actually a visit from the devil himself, paying a visit and trying to cause chaos within the church community. So that goes to show, like you said, Wayne, about, some way, yes, this other one could have been classified as ball lightning, but it was to some varying degree paranormal experiences for both those years apart.
Right. Kate's asking, did you ask one about the longest name in the Welsh language?
So I'm just going to say this real quick.
You won't be saying that real quick, Nick. I'm telling you now.
Oh God! Well, Kate sent it to us. We did Supernatural Talk last night, and Kate sent us a link, and there's even a song about that name. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna have to bring that up to Lynn, because since she lives in Wales, I'm sure she knows that word all too well. Holy crap, that word is long as hell. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now I've got it in front of me now. I've only got it up because of the way it twists and twangs and stuff like that, right?
Get ready,
so
Kate.
It's Llanfair, Pwth Gwyn, Gingo Gerich, Gwyngrod, Wishantasilio, Gogogoch.
Oh my gosh!
Yes. Yeah. Something about a white
What does that mean?
Somewhere.
What does that mean? The grass is green.
Yep, that's what Kate. Yeah, there you go. Kate, that's the one. There you go, Kate.
I'll tell you what it means. It means the Church of St. Mary in the hollow of the White Hazel near the Rapid Whirlpool, and the Church of St. Tisilio near the Red Cave. And that's the name of it.
Mic drop.
She's a
And
plot.
that is the longest place name in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I found out. It's the
It's
longest.
great there. It's great.
We do not want to try and pronounce the longest place name in the world.
Oh, boy.
What is it?
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly. guys.
Talma. Jesus. Talma Torka Haka Tangi Hanga Kawasoa Tamati Ata Yuri Yipikaka Kipi Kiki Moanga Horono Yuka Pukai Way Nawatana Natahu.
Well, that's easy for you
Yeah.
to say, Wayne,
I
isn't it?
went there last week. I had a lovely curry. It was great.
And that's a hill in New Zealand. It's 85 letters long.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Oh, my God.
And it translates to the summit where Tamate, the man with the big knees, the climber of the mountains, the land swallow who travelled about playing his nose flute to his loved one.
Oh, good days.
This nose flute. What's a nose? This is a nose flute.
No, it's where you stick the flute up your nose.
You've got a snotty nose now.
That's nice.
So he climbed up the mountain with his big knees, playing his nose flute at the same time. I mean, I've heard of some strange things in New Zealand, but that just takes the piss.
With his big knees.
The translation is big knees.
That's hysterical.
But he's like,
What's the name of the longest train station?
Yeah,
Then, Liz?
so
I think it is that Welsh one, actually.
Yeah, it
Well-
sounded like the Gog. Yeah.
Go.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say right now, Lois, you should have been watching last night's show because I think it would have been the moment you've been waiting up for so long because we were talking about different town names. And
right?
I was talking about it for some of you. I'm sure you guys know this already. There is a certain town in Austria that
Right?
not a very long word, that's for sure. And you ready for this, Lois? I know you're gonna love hearing this. There is an actual town in Austria called fucking.
Oh, so you're saying, I want to go to
I
fucking.
told you. You ready for this?
That's it. The whole show's banned now. The whole show's banned with
Say that again, Nick.
There is a real town in Austria. It's called fucking.
Sorry, Nick.
Okay.
I
I
didn't
can beat
actually,
that.
would you? What did you
I can
say?
beat that. We have a village 3 miles away from me called Fingering Hoe. Sorry, Austria, you lose.
Well, you know, I it's funny. I looked up the I explained exactly the same way. Here, I'm gonna, I'm gonna share a picture on the screen, and this was one of the many signs that they showed of the town in Austria. Here, check this out.
It's not Ann Summers, is it?
I got it on screenshot. Do you have? There you go.
Population of 2.
Actually, you know what? It's a really small population. There's like the town is only home to like 106 people that live there.
So there's not much of that going on in that town.
No,
You would think so, but no, they don't. And it's a relatively small. It's a relatively small village.
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, I'm dyslexic. What does that say?
You know, I'm going to say something about. So I said this the same. I'm going to say this the same way like I did last night. But I did a Google search one time, and I just typed in "fucking," and it suddenly showed up on my Google Maps. I'm like, it's real. There is a real town called fucking. I actually, I'm going to say it because I once sent that to Tom at one time. He did it on a live stream a few years ago, our Pickle Tom. And he once said, like, imagine if he was living, he's like, welcome to fucking. I'm the village idiot.
I think it's in Oxfordshire, is it, Wayne? There's a place called Twat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is also a place in Dorset called Knobs End.
Yeah.
If Tom was on right now, he would even tell you guys that in Pennsylvania, probably not far from Philly, there's also a town that's called Intercourse.
Is that next door to fucking?
Yeah. Well, you know, I did some research. So the town I'll read this again. It's not going to be long. The town of fucking, it's a really, as like the rest of Europe, it's a really old village. I mean, it dates back almost 1,000 years. And what the name and the etymology, it's a lot different. And so little history lesson here. The settlement is believed to have been founded in the 6th century AD by Facco, but it's spelled F-O-C-K-O, a Bavarian nobleman. The Austrian region during this century was mostly under the domain of the Kingdom of the Ostrogoths and was populated, interestingly, by a mix of Christians and pagans. The existence of the village was documented for the first time in 1070. So it's been around for almost 1,000 years. And historical records show that some 20 years later, the Lord was recorded in Latin as, and I hope I'm saying this right, Alderp. Oh my God, I cannot say. Alda Perdus de Fusingen. The spelling of the name, which is pronounced with the English language vowel oo, as in book, evolved over the years. It is first recorded in historical sources as, again, I don't even know if I'm saying that. Vukingen? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. In 1070, on Fox King in 1303. At that time, it was Fukching. So that was in 1303. And then Fugging in 1532, but that was spelled again as Fughing. And in the modern spelling, fucking, in the 18th century. But interestingly, the ending ing is an old Germanic suffix indicating the people belonging to the root word to which it is attached. Thus, fucking in their meaning means place of Faco's people.
I just said the first people there would have been a girl called Fu, and she married a guy called King.
Well, and that name stuck for, again, well over 300 years until the town finally they just decided to change the term name once again after the last time 300 years ago. So now it's still referred to as Fugging, but it's Fugging today.
They've made it more respectable.
I can't get this joke out of my head. I've got to say it. I'm sorry.
Go on.
Does that make the people of the village all fuckers?
Well, so that's located up in. So it's weird. It's located up in Upper Austria, but there is also another one in. Oh shoot! Hang on one second here. My computer's freezing. Give me a second here. I hate it when this happens.
Oh my God!
But apparently there's also one in Lower Austria. Now they do explain a little bit more about the one in Lower Austria, and I didn't read this last night, so this is all new. So, Fugging was first referred to as fucking in 1195 in a local monastery's parish records. Its name was later changed from. Oh, actually, no. This was changed even sooner than the other one from Upper Austria. So the one for Lower Austria, its name was later changed from fucking to fugging for an unknown reason in 1836. While it is not known why the village's name was changed, it has been speculated by its current mayor that because fugging is closer to Vienna and the other village of fucking it would have likely had more English. Okay, yeah, it would have likely have more English-speaking visitors who might have raised questions regarding its name. The village's place name signs are firmly mounted to prevent street sign theft. And that was another thing, too, before the name change. Those street signs, as like you guys just saw, they were often stolen on numerous occasions. And sometimes they would, in fact, be sold like on eBay when they would bring it back. Whether it was like here in America or another country, they would sell it like online. So they had to start making new signs to like make them like firmly bolted and mounted to prevent them from being stolen. Now, in 2012, there were reports that the village of Fucking in Upper Austria attempted to change its name to Fugging. So now you're thinking, well, if there's Upper Austria and Lower Austria and they're trying to clash over the same name, so this was around that time they were going to do that through a referendum after receiving large amounts of prank phone calls from English speakers about the village's name. I'm not surprised. According to these reports, they were unable to do so because Fugging in Lower Austria was already so named. Fugging Mayor Andreas Doctor said, "We think one Fugging in Austria is enough." However,
it's full of loads of little fuggers, isn't it?
However, Franz Meindl, the mayor of Fucking, rejected the claim that his plan is that his town was planning on changing its name. He said, "This was discussed a few years ago, but nothing came of it. It is certainly not under discussion now." However, in November 2020, the Tarsdorf Council voted to change the Upper Austrians village's name to Fugging, effective on January 1st, 2021. Both villages are derived from Facco, once again, a Bavarian noble from the 6th century. And it's an even smaller town. In that town in Lower Austria, there's only like 92 people that live there. And they have the only things they say that's a point of interest is that they have a village. Wait, what? Wait, what's going on? Wait, what happened? What am I missing?
The only thing of interest that happened.
Oh yeah, they say they have. Yeah, it has a village. It has a village church, interestingly, that was built in 1894, consecrated in 1896. It was later renovated in 1984 after the roof required repair work after damage from persistent hailstorms. Fugging also has a small volunteer fire department located within it. That's all they say about the town. What a way to give a great new type of education on a less known location.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally think it's down to the pronunciation. If you use an Austrian voice, it probably comes out Fugging.
Yeah. Where's Arnold Schwarzenegger when we need him? He probably would know because he did teach us know how to be a good neighbor.
Yeah.
It's paper, just like it's written on the paper.
I wonder if he's ever had a haunting.
Wait,
I bet he has.
Oh,
that's
Arnold
something for you to get on to, Nick. Get hold of Arnie and ask him if he's ever been.
He's probably had a T1000 and a Predator haunting.
Right. Right, guys, I'm going to roll up tonight because I've got kiddos, so I've got mum duty of miniature size.
Okay. I've got just one question to ask, Lois, just before we end, because I want to have this recorded. Are you finally satisfied that I said what you wanted me to say?
Oh, whoa. You said fucking it's a place. That doesn't count.
Well, when I was talking about that on Supernatural Talk last night, some viewers were like, it was kind of the opposite, like, oh my God, my ears, I can't believe Nick said that. But then I said it in my defense. To be fair, this is the name. This is a town name.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That doesn't count, Nicky boy, because that's a name of a place. See, I want you to say, see that fucking Tom? That's the sort of fucking, not just I mean, in Supernatural Talk last night, we were talking about this place called Fucking. That's like
Oh my god.
a place called Fucking. That don't count, son.
Well, guess I was right.
Oh boy.
Just don't say see you next Tuesday.
Yep. Guys,
Or Thursday.
I won't
No
be on
Thursday.
next Thursday because next Thursday is Thanksgiving over here.
Oh, already? That's gone quick, hasn't it?
That's it.
And obviously, if you guys want to do a show, go right ahead. It's just that I won't be available myself because of the holiday.
Well, Friday, Mr. Spookinori, pick a subject.
What, who, what, where, when, why, how? Next Friday?
Yes,
Yeah.
pick a subject.
I didn't realise we were doing subjects for Friday.
What we are now.
I've got a classic. Accidents at work.
Accidents at work.
So when I say accidents at work, I say people doing silly things to themselves when they're out investigating. So like falling down steps.
Oh, I've been through there.
Making a balls up.
I got a funny, if I'm able to join on Friday, I got a hilarious video to I just got to ask real quick. You guys know who David Childers is, right? You guys know who he is? Yeah. Okay, he's got two hilarious videos. One I was trying to search for Mary and Shane. I couldn't find, but then I found another one. And yeah, technically the person in this video did get hurt, but now that a few years have passed by, it's kind of a hilarious video to watch it. Hey, you know what they say? It's only funny if everyone lives.
Right, that is true. So you heard it here first, guys. Next week, we are talking paranormal accidents. So, guys, have a good weekend. Stay safe. And definitely catch us up next week, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.